Hi everyone, a warm welcome to our webinar about unlocking business opportunities with NATO. I am Sabrina Suiker and I work as an international business manager at Norrbotten Chamber of Commerce that also hosts this webinar. Today we are diving into more about what Sweden's and Finland's memberships in NATO mean for both security but also for businesses, and looking into different sectors that might be especially interested in business opportunities there. We have two experts with us today, Teemu Anttila from Finnish Operations Center and Rauno Juusola from Salgrom Technologies. But before we go into and introduce more about our speakers, I would like to take the chance to tell a little bit more about Norrbotten Chamber of Commerce and why we are here today. As I mentioned, I work as an international business manager, and that means that I help our member companies and other companies interested in Norrbotten as a market or export outside Sweden, so to say. We are also responsible for something that is called Team Sweden Norrbotten, that is the cooperation for foreign trade promotion in Sweden, part of the national strategy, but also part of the regional development strategy here in Norrbotten. Our chamber is the northernmost chamber in Sweden. We have 11 chambers in Sweden, and we have 3 focus areas in Norrbotten. They are infrastructure, international business, and skills and networking. We have 330 member companies in Norrbotten that have an annual turnover around 132 billion kroners, and they employ 28,000 people in Norrbotten. So even though our team is small in Norrbotten, we are quite powerful what comes to our member companies and also what comes to export and international trade, since it's very vital for our area and also vital for the export of Sweden in total. In our chamber, we do different kind of activities, and this kind of market information and webinars are part of it. But of course, we also arrange different kind of events and networking, and also are an advocacy and referral body for law suggestions both in Sweden and within European Union. So why are we here today? Norrbotten is on the top of the Arctic Europe, that is the northern parts of Sweden and Finland and Norway. And of course, the NATO membership of Finland and Sweden, the year between them, is of course a major impact also on the opportunities and challenges from the business perspective in the northern parts. It also brings us more together and closer in cooperation when it comes to security, but also infrastructure and business between the northern parts of Finland, Sweden, and Norway, since the east-western connection becomes even more important for our countries from the both security and business perspective. And if we then look at the maps and look into where we are kind of in the center of everything. If you change the perspective and look from the north, the Norrbotten area and also the northern parts of Finland and Norway, of course, are very, very central for these kind of geopolitical questions also that are very on top of mind right now, both what comes to businesses, but also from the security perspective. I mentioned Team Sweden Northern Norrbotten that we have in northern part of Sweden. That is part of our foreign trade promotion. We are not the only organization that works with this. We have a group of organizations that help companies in different ways, especially the small and medium-sized companies that are the main target and main ground of our companies up north. So if there would be any questions about financing or market strategies or any other questions around export and internationalization, you can always contact us in the Norrbotten Chamber of Commerce or the other organizations, and we help you to get in contact with the right parties that can help you to grow globally, so to say. Of course, lately we have also had a lot of interest from Finland and from Finnish companies, and that's also one of the reasons why we have Finnish guest speakers today in our webinar, and sharing their experiences and giving recommendations what to think about when it comes to NATO and the business opportunities that the memberships unlock for our businesses. Just a reminder for those that perhaps have looked into our trade talks earlier, we have still a call also for business support that is open for small and medium-sized companies that are based, operating from, or have interest in Norrbotten. So if you are a company that is interested in growing on a market outside Sweden, you could also apply for our support, where we help you to find local experts in that market that you have chosen, and for example, do business support within market readiness or expansion, go-to-market strategies, or B2B matchmaking or partner searches, for example. So please go to our homepage and find more information there. The call is open for this fall again, but you can apply for the place already now. So please do that. We only have few places left, so get the spot if you're interested. And just to finally say some words, what is important for us up in Norrbotten, but also within the Arctic area, is often the cooperation, the co-planning and coordination between our companies, of course, but also other actors. And of course, the NATO memberships between our countries, and the connections are getting even stronger and more vital, also for businesses that have dual use or multi-use products, for example, that has potential also within the NATO markets or the defense sector. Before I go and present our next speaker, I would just also like to recommend to go in our calendar at norrbottenhandelskammare.se, where you can find all our networking events. And for the fall, we have the largest one, Logistikdag Nord, that is the Logistics Day North, that is gathers together actors both from Sweden, Finland, and Norway, and other countries to discuss the importance of the infrastructure. And I know also Teemu today will talk a little about the importance of infrastructure and the potential there also from the NATO perspective. So please go in and find our calendar, and also you can find more information about our chamber at our homepage. So that was shortly a little bit about us at Norrbotten Chamber of Commerce, but also about Norrbotten in general. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to contact me, but of course also directly contact our experts that are talking more today. So why are we here, and why is NATO important for us? Of course, some of the sectors that might be interesting to dive into are, for example, defense, cybersecurity, logistics, AI, the dual use or multi-use technologies, and infrastructure, that are kind of the high potential markets that we see. And that's also one of the reasons why we have this webinar today and want to show you that there are experts that you can actually connect and get help from, to know how to succeed on NATO markets and the tendering and procurement processes that are there. I think Teemu will talk more about this also, but it's quite interesting that over 60 billion euros are within procurements in defense annually across NATO Europe, but only 47% of the Swedish NCAGE codes the registrations that are there are actually currently active. And it's kind of fun to compare that then later on when Teemu talks about Finland to see what are the differences and try to understand what also are the synergies between our countries and our markets and businesses. So let's close the gap, I think, and go further on to present also Teemu, that is our first speaker, the keynote speaker. He has an extensive experience within defense sector and is a respected leader. And he has been working as a major in the Finnish Defense Forces and also been a former CIO at the Finnish Ministry of Defense. He has led major IT and defense projects in both public and private sectors, both in Finland and internationally. And he also holds a Master of Science in Digital Communication and is a Knight of the Order of the White Rose in Finland. So warm welcome to Teemu to our stage in Norrbotten.
Thank you very much, Sabrina, and greetings from Finland. My name is Teemu Anttila, and thank you, Sabrina, for your kind words. I think I have quite many slides in my presentation, and it takes maybe 25-30 minutes to speak about the business opportunities for Nordic companies when we speak about the NATO markets. So let's see how this IT works. As Sabrina told, I have been a CIO of Ministry of Defense, but you know the CIO never actually works with the IT. Well, it's kind of insider jokes. But few more words about myself. I'm from Finnish Operations Center. We help Finnish, Swedish, and Nordic companies to the NATO market and drive business with European defense governments and prime companies like Kongsberg, Patria, Biosystems, and so on. I have about 30 years experience in defense and security sector, different kind of leadership positions, and the main programs for the Finnish government, including secret network program for Finnish police and border and emergency agency, and of course defense forces. But it's another story and a little bit secret also. So here are my contacts. So don't hesitate contact FOC or directly for me after the presentation. I would love to help and talk more about the NATO business. Okay, briefly about Finnish Operations Center. Well, we have a number one network of experts in Finland, in Nordic also. I will say a few words later about our expertise, our Army generals, advisors. We are really proud of our quality and the level of our standards, our services. As you know, when you deal with a governmental organization or defense sector, these are like basic things. You need to have like basic certifications and standards already. And I'll get back to this topic also later. we can help the companies from the beginning to the like extending business, and we are really proud of our services. So when I'm presenting you about the roadmap that we encourage companies to take first step and the next step and so on, we can provide our services to help. Of course, there is a lot of defense experts, other experts also, but as I told you, there is many things that the companies doesn't need to survive alone. So one recommendation is that participate in networks and find your own experts to help you. And we are 100% Finnish owned, and we are really proud of that. So that's about the Finnish Operations Center. And when we speak about the NATO markets, excuse. Usually the first question for me is that what do you mean about the NATO market? Is it like a European NATO command, or what does it mean? So, as Sabrina told, we are talking about the multi-billion business, and if you would compare like the figures from last year, 2024, the Finnish defense total budget was about 6.5 billions, and it includes straight investments from the from industry about 1.3 billion. And actually, we tried to find like exact number from Sweden, and it's about twice. So the Swedish defense budget is about 10 billion last year, and it's, as you know, it's increasing fast. And like this year, one of the biggest investments in Sweden is the main battle tank Leopard AA2 model, and by this strategic investment, it will increase really fast, the defense investments. But if we compare these figures with just the NATO Europe organization, like there is two headquarters in Europe, in Brussels and Luxembourg. NATO Allied Command of Transformation that actually made all investments, and the most investments, and also the operational command that like command the operations in Europe, training, and of course the peacekeeping operations. So the Finland defense investments and the NATO is quite equal, but actually the main point that we encourage to look after is the European defense markets. That means the European NATO member countries. And now when Sweden has been like almost 2 years the full member of NATO, actually it opens the doors for the whole this market. And actually NATO procurement guidelines, the rule says that the other NATO member can make subcontracts and cooperation without any extra limits, only from other and full NATO members. So the doors are now open, and the last year it was almost 60 billion. Already now we know that it has been like increasing fast, and it's about double now. So if as you know, if we talk about the the political level statement that what it would be maybe the last year, I mean the in the end of the year, this is the most the fastest growing business in the Europe. So the other question is that do you want to stay outside of this business? It's a really serious question to the company. So how we can get closer to NATO? So actually, I present you all these details. Yeah. Another organization, and actually the NATO guideline, it's quite clear. It is complicated. The organization is really complicated, and they actually they keep telling that by themselves that that unfortunately the processes to get closer to NATO, they are really complicated. But the really good thing about this system is that it's really equal and it's as complicated for all of us. So if you are familiar with the NATO processes, it's already really good advance for the company. And that's the one point that you can have help from networks, and of course the company like us, Finnish Operations Center. So I think there is no time for give you all details about the NATO business channels, but as example, maybe I would present you about NSPA, the first one, and maybe the biggest agency that makes NATO most of NATO procurements, and it locates in Luxembourg, and there is a Swedish liaison officer. Actually, I don't remember his name, but he's there for helping Swedish companies, and that's really good contact for you. So maybe remember that at least that one from this slide. And the other recommendation is that there is so many opportunities. I mean the channels to participate NATO business, that you need to choose your battle. So there is no option that you participate all those organization and workshops. So get familiar what would be the best network for you, and of course you can make a cooperation with your colleague companies, and I know that in Finland many companies, they are operating exactly that way, that they are participating in the network, and the network is already a member of some NATO business channels. And the other point from the NATO organization and cooperation channels, that actually it's not only the procurement sector. There is also many ways to like innovation or research channels to make cooperation with NATO, and they are actually really open for cooperation with industry. For example, like NIAT, like it's a NATO industry cooperation groups. So there is like specific group for almost all kind of business areas. Not only the like a defense perspective, like land, navy, and air force, also like manufacturing, business, services, so on. And keep in mind also that there is many ways to have a funding for your project, and you I can mention that NATO make a cooperation, for example, with UN organizations like and European organizations like European Defense Agency, EDA, and European Defense Fund like EDF, and some projects could be like cooperated with EDF and NATO. Okay, I could speak about this slide like a full day. And, sorry, and if you are interested about the channels, contact me later. Okay, let's go further, and these are actually the like really concrete steps. First steps to the company who wanna have access to the channels, the business channels that I just present you. So actually, this is really simple system. First, the company who like to make a business with NATO, they need to have a company ID, NATO ID, and the name of the ID is the N-Gates code. And the second one is that the company needs to choose the channel, for example, NSPA, and register to the portal as a NATO cooperation company. And the third point is the register the product or service to the NATO master catalog. So all of the member of the family of NATO members, like 32 NATO members, and also all 30 other countries who are using the same codification system, they can find your product from NATO web store. And NATO has they have own like a e-portal and web store, so it's the worldwide as a Amazon. Not the volume is not the same, but it's a worldwide web store, so you can buy products from NSPA portal, for example, like a toilet paper or hand grenades or fighters. Well, whatever the Army, Navy, Air Force needs. But our recommendation is that the first step when company have a NATO company ID, most of companies has only restricted the name of the company and the contact person, and actually that's it. And actually it's only the tip of the iceberg, because it is possible for the company to have like a visibility for all those organizations who are using the NATO codification systems and portals, almost like a portfolio. So, like if you have the products that you think that they might interest the defense markets, you can present those informations as NATO codes. So our recommendation is that when you have a Engage code, it needs to be optimized, and it in the best best option is that actually you can present all kind of skills and products as a portfolio with your Engage code. So that's the next step, and it's the professional expert work from for example, from our services, and it works. I mentioned it about our reference. Actually, this week we have the reference newsletter about the Finnish company Vertix. They made Engage optimization with us, and it took only like 2 days, and there was a contact from NATO portal, and actually we was also like surprised that it works so fast. And unfortunately, only about 10% of the companies who has maybe less than 10% of companies who has already Engage code, they have optimized their visibility in NATO. So that's really easy. It's fast way to optimize your visibility, and that's our recommendation. And do the same thing when you have a registered to the NATO portal, for example, NSPA portal. Optimize your code. So a few words about the codes. As Sabrina mentioned it, it's these are the numbers from the last month, about 4 weeks ago, actual figures from Europe. And actually, before the presentation, I told to Sabrina that the one thing that I would like to know is that Sweden has done something right. Like, let's deep dive a little bit closer. In Sweden, there is almost 10,000, and maybe today it's 10,000 Engage codes. And if you compare Finland and Sweden, it's the Sweden is definitely the leader, except the Denmark, the small country. I don't know what is the right explanation, but they have more than 10,000 Engage codes in Denmark, and maybe the one explanation is that Sweden and Denmark they have a long tradition with the defense industry, and like the big prime contractors like Kongsberg, Saab, and Nordic companies. And in Finland we have a Patria. It's still quite a new company. Even we talk about like a Finnish traditional company, but still it's quite new. So Sweden has done something right with Engage code, and as Sabrina told, there is actually there is not 10,000 active codes, so a few thousand of codes. Those codes are inactive or they are replaced. So it's one recommendation from us that if you know that you have already had a code like 20 years ago, if you haven't been active in the NATO market and they have sent you emails or they try to make a contact to you, if you haven't give any request or you haven't answered the emails, maybe the NATO has already deactivated the code. So be active. If they ask something, they send you emails, give some feedback for them. Okay, and I keep telling that we have the program in Finland that during this year we like to double the figures. So hopefully the end of this year we have 4,000 engaged coaches in Finland. Let's see. We are working for that really hard. Okay, a few words about the roadmap. When you have make a decision to take the first steps to the NATO market, the recommendation is that first you need to sit down, have your company board, your steering group, and somehow identify your capabilities in NATO market. So I will give you example later about that. When you have a plan and you know what you like to where you like to be and you know what you need, take cooperation with other companies, networks, find the experts to help you, and influence in networks. So you need to participate and you need to be active. And when you have your first case from NATO, you need to be active. So it's like walking on the elevator, but when you cooperate with NATO, it's you remember that the elevator goes the wrong way. So if you stay the same place, you will find your company at the first place, like from the bottom. So be active. You have to keep contact like all the time. And when you can access to the big business, it might need the cooperation with other companies. The business is really big, as you see. There is a really good opportunity to grow with your colleague companies or your network. So make cooperation, even you are like a subcontractor, you have really good possibilities to make business with NATO. So these are example of services. They are our services. A few words about every step, like maturity assessment. It's easy to make like a quick one, like 1 day workshop, and find the possibilities and capability of your company. So it's really good tool for the company steering board or board to make a strategic plans, and of course the tool if you need to make investments for defense business. So the next step, development. Remember that you don't need to be alone. There is a lot of defense experts, and yesterday I talked with a UK and Irish and ambassadors, and they told that half of the company's people, they are meeting. They are ex-military guys, and they have the high knowledge about the defense business. So another recommendation is that find your own expert. Just a few examples. I think I'm almost out of time, but Sabrina hasn't told me still nothing about timing, so I keep continue.
You can continue. It's okay, Teemu. We're on time, so you can continue in your
Excellent.
pace.
Thank you. So no matter if it's like you need information or training or workshop for your companies, or if you are struggling with the regulation of compliance things, they might take a long time if you struggle by yourself. Like you know, for example, like ISO standards, it in the best way they might take like the half year to have compliance like that. So remember to utilize the expert. So networks. And I think this is one thing that in Sweden we have done really good. So there is like the area networks. There are many the team and specific industry networks, and also the state level networks, for example, FOC. So our point of view is that it doesn't matter are you even the one part in the like subcontractor chain, or you are even the prime contractor, the prime operator in the business. You have a great opportunities in NATO business. So remember the network, and there is a lot of information. There is a lot of course, the knowledge, the skills, and of course, the one of the best thing is that you can benchmark your opportunities to your trusted colleagues. And remember FOC. And the last service, when you have succeed, you have managed to win cases. As I told you, you need to continue, take part of bigger markets, and one option is take part of some kind of membership program that gives you like online experts and give you online information about the latest procurement cases, and there is a lot of information given by NATO, and actually some information are how I can say it's like straight. It's you can have it like advanced. So if you know the right person, they can give you information about the future. And if you participate the group, the right group, you can have like really good information about the future NATO opportunities, and it gives you a great advance to win the cases. So this is about our services, and almost the last but not the least, remember the advisors. You know, you don't need to be alone. So there is many ex-Army, Navy, Air Force generals and colonels who want to help you to the NATO market. There is specific procurement experts, lawyers, and if you wanna like do the the same way that the normal Finnish companies, when they want to access the NATO market, they normally they open the recruitment for one person and they choose the best what they can have. Our service is provide you the all expert in once. Actually, in our model is that if you participate our program and you need on the next week like a procurement lawyer, you can have like 2 days the best lawyer, and the next week if you need for your company like the army ex general who has the best networks in Europe, you can take the next week his expertise and so on. So there is also like flexibility model for using experts. And so the first steps, like today or tomorrow, is website engates.se. So make your Engage code. It's the first step. Have access to the website, fill the form, and the second step is to find an expert to optimize your code. But I promise you, it's really easy. For you, it takes only like a half an hour to fill the form, and it's a great thing about the service is that we will take care of all the process with Swedish Defense and the NATO NSPA. So if there is some problem to have the code, we will fix it and we will help you to have a code. And we can almost promise that it's 2 days, and if you fill the form today, 2 days, and you will have a Engage code for your company. So it's really easy. And we have a LinkedIn profile for more information. Some of the information is Finnish, but like nowadays we also produce the English material. And if you like to become a member, so you will have like every month, almost every second week newsletter about the latest business opportunities. Become a member, and always you can contact me or my colleagues in Finnish Operations Center. So now the last slide, and this concludes my presentation. Do we have time for questions?
Yes, thank you so much, Teemu. So interesting and so concrete with the support that you can provide and all the recommendations. That actually the first steps are really easy. It's the hard part is to being active and working on it that actually the Finnish companies seem to excel in. So I think there's a lot of synergies. Let's see. I'll see if we have any questions in the chat. Not for the moment, as I see, but of course you can continue to write questions in the chat and
Should
ask
we take
more.
the question after Rauno's presentation?
Yeah. We can take that at the end also. So please, if you have any questions, feel free to set them in the chat, and we will take on them at the end. Thank you so much, Teemu. And I would also like to recommend for the listeners that we have from Finland, the book that you have written also, that is a really concrete and good way to learn more about NATO market and the support and what kind of things you need to think about. For now, it's not only in Finnish. So for the question from the Swedish side, I would recommend to contact Teemu directly if you need support or have any questions. So we're just happy if we can find synergies and connections during this webinar also. So thank you so much, Teemu. And now we will go forward and listen more about Salgram Technologies. Our next speaker is Rauno Juusola, that is the director of Salgram Technologies. That is actually really interesting example of Finnish companies that has been also working with Engage registration and also NSA certification. So we're really happy to have you, Rauno, here, and we're also happy to showcase one of our member companies from Finland that is also active in Norrbotten area. So warm welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Sabrina. Do you hear my voice well?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm very pleased to be here in this webinar, and I thank you, Teemu. It was a great presentation, and it wakes a lot of questions, maybe in the audience and the webinar. But I think there is a huge opportunity to every company in the Scandinavia, Finland, Sweden, to be part of these huge markets. What is now there in the NATO and markets. But let's go straight in the presentation, because I want to show you something. What is So we are not talking about high technology or something like that, but we are talking about new technology, what is actually in the fire safety today. So because all the new technologies, what is coming, it's going very fast, and this new technology requires modern fire solutions. Because I tell you a little bit later, and I show you. Because fire safety has been many years very conservative, and there has been many good way to put fire down. But what we have been done is a little bit different. Here's a little bit background our company. We have been started 2011 in Finland. Our location is Oulu, near airport. We are 100% also Finnish privately held company, and we have actually today we have been more employees what was yesterday, because we are growing, and of course we have really good partners like maintenance, installation, and sales area. So we have been starting also to sell our products in the over 20 countries now globally. We have international expansion going. We are small company still, but we are growing quite fast, and maybe you can get also a little bit picture what we are doing and what is the behind this growth. Little bit about how we have been experienced it, and what we have been done. So we have been done quite long time in Finland, and then numbers what you can see in the presentation. It's of course many years work, but now we are I think we are in the good point that we have the products what is more and more getting interested in the Scandinavia and Europe. So there is a number what we have done in the past, but what is actually what we have been prepared many years, because we start to figure it out where the world is going and what new technologies are coming in the markets, and then we saw at many customers and many companies, and of course everybody who is working with the new technologies, are they prepared to fire safety? There is more electricity cars, there is energy containers, there is electric bikes, there is everything. And how you make a fire safety with them? Because the new high technology, what is inside those data centers or energy containers, they need protection, and those fires can lead to expensive damages, because there is very, very expensive part in every technology. And those protection must be the fast, easy, precise, and modular. And our future demands more electricity, so it means, and the risks are increasing accordingly. So more and more electricity is used, and of course the risks are also growing in the same point. So a little bit background about, I already mentioned, and we start to think about what is happening, what is the next 5-10 years. So everybody, we know about a little bit about how you can take fire down in the home, take a water or something. But actually, when the technology is going very rapidly forward, it's actually challenging the fire safety in the same time. So there is unbelievable things what you can protect now with the new technology, with our system. But same time, you have a challenge to find out at how big damages is coming when something happening in those part of industry, or in the whatever part of life. So what are the difference? What has been used before? So there has been used before, like gas existing systems. Where are the gas bottles? And what was in the place before, it was quite complex to make installation, because there is a lot of pipelines, there is a lot of they need a lot of extra rooms, and afterwards modifications is a little bit challenging. And of course you must make a maintenance to them and it's growing the lifetime goal. So many companies are saying that to fire safety is so expensive, and I understand that, because of course you have very, very expensive factories or whatever, and you must have fire safety to them also. But what we have been building a system where you don't need extra rooms to gas bottles, you don't need the piping lines there, and if there is coming release, there is no damage to buildings or components, because we have the very low release pressure. And of course, we have that raw material, what is coming out from those gas cylinders, it's already inside the unit, so we don't need those pipelines, as I told you before. So we have the lower lifetime cost, we have a minimal maintenance, easy and fast installation, and we have a modular design. We can actually to build and reinstall whatever places find, and 90% of what we are doing now, there is the rooms what has not been product with the against the fire, so we can go there and install our system. But if you want to make a traditional system, it's maybe impossible, or it costs a lot of money to do that. That is only simple example how modular our system is. We have I told you, we have working 14 years, so we have a good reference cases, and mainly these are in Finland, but of course they are international companies. We have been now working with them also in the international markets, other countries. So what kind of spaces we can protect? Actually, the list can be like 500 marks in these slides, but here are the main thing what we are doing, and what kind of spaces we are making fire safety. So what is actually growing now, if I take something here, it's energy containers, data centers, and a lot of automation rooms, because everybody understand, if you have an example, one example factory, those product lines are very, very heavily safety, but nobody has been thinking about that electricity is coming from the electricity room, and many times there is only detectors who are watching that is there coming fire, but those electric rooms, if they start fire, maybe those product lines is also stopping without fire, those product in the product line. So this is very important to understand that there are very critical spaces everywhere, actually. So we have built own system. We doing design, installation, and then we have service and maintenance with our partners, or we are doing ourselves. Just like that, I show you the numbers. We have a lot of places where our systems are now installed. So we need also to help that, and actually we are now expand to Sweden. So we are looking for the partners also to us to do the service and maintenance and be our partners also in Sweden. So here's a little bit pictures how it looks, our unit. So the gas is inside this unit, so we don't need the pipelines there, and we can install very easily them roof, wall, everywhere in that place where we are doing the fire safety. Here is a little bit examples: data and server facilities, emergency power plants, and so on. Battery industry is very, very big part of our business and growing. And this is actually, I want to lift up this because this is our own product and it's patented. So this spider existing unit don't need electricity. There is no battery, so you can place that any container inside, and it's actually checking all the time the temperature of the inside the container, and if the container temperature go up, the critical point what has been set there, so it's activating and releasing the gas inside the container. So in the defense forces, when they go to training, there is a lot of generators and that kind of stuff, a lot of containers. So this is easy to install and easy to move on because there is magnets behind that. You can put it in the container wall or everywhere where, and if also you can screw that in there with the screws in the somewhere else if there is no magnet possibility. So this is actually, we are selling a lot of these, not only containers, but places where it's very very, very difficult to make fire protection because maybe it's the middle of the wood or the forest and that kind of stuff. So this is actually, we are very proud about that, this own product, what we have been also patented. Then we have a cargo and waste stations. I can tell you with one example I was visiting in a couple of weeks ago in the waste station, and in last 5 years there has been over 5 fire in the station because there's a lot of electrical components mixed in the waste, so they can start to burn like like self, they are heating themselves and they start to burn. So the waste station, they have a big problem with the phones and that kind of stuff, what is mixed inside the other waste in the stations. Heating plants, we have 2 big projects going on in south of Finland and we are protecting that whole factory. Fiber rooms and facilities, this is good example. Fiber rooms and the fiber network. What is the critical infrastructure? People has a connection and internet. In this how can I say, crazy world, there is a lot of things what we must think. How can we protect? Like somebody is throwing a bottle in the fiber facility and it starts to fire. So that is one thing what we are trying to explain also in the cities and the other companies who are taking care about the fiber network. It's very critical to get that also protected. Then a little bit small, but we are proud about that. Every racing F1 boat has implemented our technology, because when the boat start racing, the motor is behind to boat, and when it's got heated, there you have been seen many time if you are watching television, those races at some boats can start there starts fire, and then it's like smoke is coming. It's actually our unit what is activated and taking fire down. So they have our protection also, those boats. And of course we have a green stamp, so we are friendly to the we don't take oxygen away from the air, and we have zero ozone and global warming and atmosphere numbers, so we are environmentally friendly. What we have those fire safety gas what we are using. Then we can go a little bit to defense, civil and critical industry. This is something of course, I'm not going to take up anything cases what we have been done, but in the mainly I can tell a little bit practical experience and opportunities, how this has been helped us at we are now in the national stock numbers. We have a partner in USA, and that was helping us a lot. And it was open to us, unlock new business opportunities with also in the defense sector. We in the past we was not working so much there, but now we have a very good how can I say position now at because we have this national stock number in the system. So that also helps us to gain access to global markets. And if we don't talk about only defense industry, if you think and if you look around you, there is a lot of critical systems like power grids, water supply, transportation networks, and the communication systems. They are now better protected and must be better protected against sabotage and direct attacks. I have been reading in Finland, and I have been reading also in Sweden, and there is strange happenings different places. So we must be ready everything, and of course the fire safety, it's one of the major thing what must be done very, very well. And of course agreements with the major companies who are operating in the different industry. This helps a lot, and this has been helps a lot of us. So this the whole thing what we are doing, what we have a main focus now is actually to expand to other countries and show what we have, what we can do. And of course there is a lot of, like Teemu told and show the numbers, so there is huge new business opportunities. And I hope you get a better picture what we are doing. And of course, if you are any questions or you want to connect me, so here is my email, my number, and you can connect everything. And like I told in the beginning the presentation, I'm responsible about northern Sweden, and I'm actually traveling every week almost to Sweden and the north part of Sweden, because I'm living in the border in Sweden and Finland. So if you have any questions or you want to know more or talk with me, so just call me or send me email or something like that, so we get connected. So I saw some question. If you can read it, Sabrina.
Yes, thank you so much, Rauno. Great to hear about a real-life example of dual-use or multi-use company in this webinar also. I have two questions. I don't know, perhaps Teemu also can answer a couple of them, and I think I have a couple of questions for both of you. We got a couple of questions directly after Teemu's part, that was where the first one was if you know, or if Teemu knows, how many Finnish companies are accepted to Diana. It seemed that on the presentation there was a number on Swedish companies that was 5. So they were curious about how it looks for Finnish companies and Swedish companies. I don't know, Teemu, if you have answered that question.
Yeah, sure. I think I don't have the last figures, but I think there was 2 companies in the last page, and anyway, it's the long-term process. So they have many evaluation states, and I think there has been so many applications for the program and only the few, like as you mentioned, 5 from Sweden. I think it's about 2 or 3 from Finland. Is now have access to this stage of program, but it's one way. It's only one way. Yeah.
Yeah. You showed a lot of different ways in the beginning, and I think the best recommendation is also not to go forward with everyone at the same. So to try to find the unique selling points for the company and prioritize and find the right networks to start with, at least, as you mentioned. We had another question. I think it's also Teemu, still for you. How do you approach the Swedish or Finnish liaison officer in Luxembourg? How can you manage that contact or initiate that contact? Do you have any recommendations for that?
Well, I can give the contact information. So like,
contact
yeah, I have like straight numbers and emails. So after the meeting presentation, contact me, and contact information and small email and recommendation about the company. It works.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Teemu. That was very, very concrete. There was a next question for Rauno. Do you have any tips for other companies that want to enter the NATO market? What is your experience, where to start, and what has been good or more challenging for you guys in your company?
Yes. Well, there is a way, like Teemu told in his presentation. We have partners who are working with the defense industry, and we start to talk with them, of course, and that is one thing. To already companies who are working in the defense industry, there I'm very sure about there's a lot of people interested about what type of business companies are doing and how they can help them. So that is one thing, to go and talk with straight to the companies who are working in the defense industry. Another thing is that actually, I must say, and lift up a little bit Teemu, because I was in the one meeting a couple of months ago in Tornio where Teemu was talking, and there I get a lot of good things and good information, and I was using that, and that was actually helping us a lot. We are talking now with maybe we publish something in the next coming weeks, but actually that less what Teemu was telling there in the meeting, that was actually wake up call to us, and we was making then right things. So the tips is like that. One thing is, of course, must be active, and the second thing is try to find influencers or companies who can help you go in and go, talk to and start to negotiation with them, and sitting in the right table, the right people, because this is the one thing is sure at you must have the right people in the table when you start to talk and show you pieces, but because there is a lot of you can use a lot of time and money to try yourself everything, but actually in my case, in our case, we have of course many other people who are working in our company, but the right thing is to find the right people.
Yeah, that's a really good recommendations. Like also Teemu mentioned earlier, to find your expert and also the right expertise for different kind of questions.
Yes.
And also the networking. And I know, Rauno, you have been a lot networking in Norrbotten also, and that is kind of the key also for our northern areas in Finland, Sweden, and Norway, to find those connections and cooperations. And sometimes it's easier to do it together with someone than all alone, at least if you're a small, medium-sized company. So it's a really good recommendation. Yeah, I had another question for you, Rauno. Also, how do you expect your company to expand in the NATO market in the next 5 years to come? If you get to look in the future and project what you think is coming, how do you think that will affect you? I know you also had the NSA certification, so you might also comment a bit on that.
Yeah. Well, 5 years, of course. We have just started about expand, and there is a lot of promising cases and promising discussions and talks with different companies and different. Of course, one thing is that we have we have companies who has a very good technology to defense industry, and they need, in that technology, they need fire safety. So this is actually one thing to understand, that if you find a good partners who are giving like how can I say, they are growing So if we are part of that, we are also growing. So in 5 years, we hope that we hope that we are growing. Of course, I cannot say any numbers, but we have, of course, we have plans and that kind of stuff. But the main thing is also that we try to develop more and more the products what is very very good in the these markets what are huge. So that is the question. We want to grow and develop the products in the defense industry and all kind of stuff for this to very critical in our environment.
Great to hear. I know that Teemu, you mentioned, especially in your book, a couple of areas that I also mentioned in the beginning of this webinar that are high on demand or perhaps high potential markets, at least where Finland excels. I think a lot of them also have synergies with northern Sweden, Norrbotten and our area. You mentioned there defense, cybersecurity, logistics, AI, dual use or multi-use, and also infrastructure. Where do you, Teemu, see the synergies from your point of view in the Finnish-Swedish context, so to say? I know it's quite early to say that. We just became members in Sweden, but still, if you could dream and see what could be the synergies that you can see between us.
Yeah, I can see a lot of synergies and a potential for cooperation, like all level. For example, European defense conferences, there are the main contractors, prime contractors from France, Denmark, and the big from big defense countries. So one option is that we cooperate and we have like cooperation between Sweden, Finland, Norway, and we like it can be like a Scandinavian pavilion in the conference, or it could be like the huge procurement program that we participate all together. But I think the strength of Scandinavian is that we are really familiar with a governmental process, and we are really honest people, and we are really used to like all kind of processes, and that's a huge advance when we talk about the NATO market. And also we have a same mind. Then it's really easy to make cooperation between us, Finland and Sweden. And you mentioned it about the business areas like a cyber and high tech, for example. I think especially in the northern part of Finland and Sweden, I know that there is so many companies that they operate. It doesn't matter is it the Sweden or Finnish side. So it's already like the base for really good cooperation. So I recommend to not even talk about the Sweden or Finland. I would say like a Scandinavian strength and cooperation. We are not the competitors. We are like a more. We need to think more like cooperation in every level.
I think there's a lot of complementing areas and synergies in that way that some things are better in Finland and some things are better in Sweden. And when we combine them, then we are really competitive together. And as you mentioned, up north, we really live across the borders in a different way. We don't really think that there's a border in between. So the businesses also do business on both sides. From the northern perspective, I would also mention perhaps icebreakers and infrastructure and energy solutions like the Aurora line that is built between Finland and Sweden, and and different hydrogen solutions that are upcoming. So I think there's a lot of synergies also what comes to both civilian and defense perspective for us. So the Scandinavian labeling is perhaps the right way of going. I know Oulu is also, they have this slogan when you come to the airport that welcome to the capital of Scandinavia, and it's kind of fun because Finland isn't part of the Scandinavia in a formal meaning or geographical meaning at least. So we're already there at least in Oulu. So that's nice. I had one more question on the chat that asked about from both of you, how do you make sure that your company or the companies that you support at the Finnish Operation Center are competitive in the NATO market, because it feels like that there's a lot of competition. What's the key to that?
Now, maybe Teemu, if I can go the first, and of course there is a lot of competition. Actually, that's good because competition keeps you awake, and you must be better every day and develop your things and of course learn every day. So I don't see any problem with competition, and like Teemu and you also mentioned it, Sabrina, we are one NATO country, NATO area where it's a different countries inside that area. So I think it's a good that there is a competition because if there is no competition, this wasn't too easy because. The area what we are working with the area we are taking care about the people and the life and our environment. So that's a good thing that there is competition. I'm not how you say worried about that. I'm more happy that there is competition.
Great, thank you, Rauno. It's kind of the baseline for innovation also. But Teemu, would you like to comment on that?
Yeah, sure. And really wise words from Rauno, and I could give you like a really practical tool for estimation of your capabilities for NATO market. Maybe an advice first. So as like every business, you need to you need to find your pros and cons and like do some kind of like a business strategy. And our recommendation is that use a tool, for example, our self assessment tool. It gives you like the basic information about your capabilities, and especially if there would be some showstopper that, like, for example, like the ISO, like ISO standards, that if you don't have and you like to participate like specific some specific programs, and they need to have I mean that you need to have a like a certificate. You can find those kind of like showstoppers, and then you can make a decision that even you start your own program to establish own certificate, or you make a cooperation with other companies who already have the certificate. It's just an example, but the recommendation is that use the tool, and if I find the link for our self assessment tool, I can write it somewhere here, so you can use it. It's completely free.
Yeah, you can put it on the chat if you can find it on Zoom. Otherwise, we can send it out also when we send the link for the webinar to watch later on, so to say. So we can include that also there, so you easily can access that. Really great. We have come to the end of our webinar. I would like to thank a lot to both Teemu and Rauno for sharing experiences and recommendations for other companies looking into NATO markets and the potential for businesses. Also nice to lift up the synergies between the Scandinavian countries, or Finland and Sweden, as we have mentioned today, especially. And as you mentioned, to be strategic, to be active and use the networks were kind of the things you should take on from this webinar. And that's why also I recommend to contact us at the Norrbotten Chamber of Commerce if you need our help with anything, or want to look into the possibilities in the northern Sweden. And also if you need contacts with our expert, you can go through me or directly to them, so we can connect you if you have any questions also afterwards. So please feel free to connect and contact also our experts. So thank you so much for today, and thank you for joining.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.